Hello and welcome to It's Sybil. I am Sybil Wilkes. Joining us today is not Chris Paul and is not Huggy Lowdown, but Yolanda Starks White is with us. How you doing?
Yay! Yolanda Starks White is great. That's how I refer to myself now.
In the third person.
That's how I'm doing it today, Sybil. Hey, Coy.
Hey, Yolanda. Hey, Sybil.
Welcome back, Coy. How are you today?
I am adulting. It's
Okay.
getting thick. I'm in the thick of it now. I am
Coy, every week there is.
I hate
You're
saying
adulting and you're in the thick of it.
I hate saying
every week.
Someone please hit me over the head with $100,000. It would
Me too.
All of us.
Yes.
We could stop saying this narrative every week.
Well, we could still stop saying it even without the $100,000. I'm just saying. And just
if you had money, everything would be gravy in your life. It's just money.
Yeah, it's really literally just the money part. Everything else is great. So I'm actively working on changing my mindset surrounding that. I feel like I've been doing that for the last, I know for sure, at least the last year. Just manifesting better outcomes with money blessings, financial issues, things like that. And I'm not sure if I'm seeing results. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I want to see the results. So I'm not giving up, but trying not to panic at the same time because I'm getting down to the wire at this point.
Well, you have been manifesting and following the Yolanda Starks White school of manifestation for the better part of this year, and I mean that was a part of your mantra, your patter from the beginning of the year. You don't see any difference?
Well, I was blessed with another career.
There you go. Yes, and
so that happened.
That's what you were looking for. I remember you saying that you could just get rid of all of the other jobs so you could just have one and make a living.
Yeah, I'm still working the 2 and the 3 though.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, that's gonna happen this week coming up. Yeah.
But for the most part, you really only have one job. You might pick up some side hustles, but you only have one job.
Yes. So now the next part is to have the funds to eliminate a debt of mine, I would say, a debt. And that's been my biggest manifestation thus far. That hasn't come together yet. I've been working on that since last year.
That's a process. And I don't need to know how big the debt is, but that's a process. That's a process and sometimes you have to have that number 2 and number 3 side hustle in order to chop down some of that debt.
Yeah, but it's going to take a lot more than number 2 and number 3 because I've been number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 in it for the last year, and it didn't do anything. So,
I have a perspective that I'd like to share, Sybil. So, my mother is in the hospital right now, and I had an opportunity. Sybil, I didn't tell you this. I had an opportunity when I was up visiting her. I saw somebody that I know that is rich. Like one of the richest persons that I know. When they need money, they go to him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. So as it turns out, he was there visiting his brother. So I looked at the thing, and I'm not really that observant. And when I went to sign in, I saw his name, and I'm like, oh my God, is that? And so I saw the room number that he was in. Mm-hmm. So I went to the room. And so in talking with him, he has, in the past 2 years, he's had a kidney transplant where he actually had the kidney. He had a brain aneurysm that he had, like he has a big dent in his head where he had surgery. He's just getting over prostate cancer.
Whoa.
Through radiation. And he has, now he was telling me, because I was his yoga instructor for a few years, he's telling me that he went ahead and instead of having the knee transplant, the knee replacement, he had surgery, which he really should have had the replacement, but somebody talked him into doing that. But he is in such bad health. All that money that he's sitting upon is nothing. And he said, we were talking about somebody else. He said, I would change places with him and he could have all that I have if I had his health.
Wow. That puts it in perspective, all right.
And looking at him, I agreed. I'm fine with my little modest living that I live in because, because I've lived with him, so I see how he's lived. I don't want it.
Right.
And so all of these things that we chase, if I could just encourage you, young Coy, you got your health. So all that other stuff, houses, cars, all of those things
I don't
that
even
money
care
will
about
buy.
that.
No, it does, but that is a part
But
of
hold
it,
on, but
Coy.
that's why
It's
you need
not.
money. It's
No.
not about that's
Okay.
not
It's
what
not
you need
about
money
that.
for.
Mm-mm.
So you don't need money for a house or a car or for something like that.
No, because my car paid for. My
Okay.
cars, all that paid for. The only
Okay.
thing I'm concerned about now, to be honest, is my dad's house. That's
Okay,
it.
so it's a house.
It's
So
still
it is a house.
It's a house.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all I said. I'm just saying
Yeah.
houses, cars, boats, material things. Trust me, at your young age, it's going to come and go. Or don't trust me. It's going to come and go. I am so grateful that you have your health and that you will continue. And you got that body too, but that's secondary. But you have your health, and that's really what's important. I'm right.
I'm grateful too. Yeah, I'm grateful for that. I'm also grateful that my dad left me a house.
There
And
you go.
I'd rather be grateful in that house than where I am now and just having everything consolidated in this one place. If it came down to that, but that hasn't, I don't know, just getting that figured out in a way that possibly could sustain both, or one can help me sustain the other. That hasn't come together. So I don't know what to do.
Be patient.
And I've been patient for 2 years now.
Well, I know, but
outside.
Okay, or not,
or not.
And we can go through it every week with a different lesson in adulting.
Time will work it out.
So, can we move to the What You Need to Know newsletter?
Ooh, everybody breathe for that one too.
For that transition, right?
It's not so bad.
I'm producing here, and so looking at the time, we need to talk about the What You Need to Know newsletter. This is our Monday through Friday newsletter that we super serve the African American community with the stories and the ideas and some of the topics that we address. And Coy Malone is our social justice contributor, and she has a story about a wish come true for an exonerated man. Tell us the story, Coy.
Yes, so we have the story of Lamar Johnson, who was incarcerated for a crime he didn't commit. And this was way back in the year of 1995 when he was 21 years old. He was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without parole for the shooting death of his friend, 25-year-old Marcus Boyd, who was shot by two gunmen on his St. Louis, Missouri porch on October 30th, 1994. Now, at the time, Johnson's girlfriend told investigators he was with her the entire night of the shooting, except for 5 minutes, which wasn't long enough to travel to the crime scene 3 miles away. Law enforcement never interviewed her, but they questioned an eyewitness named Greg Elking, who stated that two men attacked the 25-year-old. And there was also a person named James Howard who took the stand and testified that he and another man were the actual killers. This happened at a later hearing that went on in December of, I want to say it was 2022, when this innocence hearing took place. So all along, this man, Mr. Johnson, had a daughter named Kiera Barrow, who was only 5 months old when her father was incarcerated. She recently had a news interview with CBS, and she said all she wished for was her father to be freed so he could give her away at her wedding. And she actually got her wish, because on April 21st, 2023, he was able to walk his daughter down the aisle after being freed on Valentine's Day of this year.
Right.
So, Coy, the reason why I wanted to move into this from your story and about your personal travails is that read the first sentence of Why You Need to Know, just the first sentence.
Time, innocence, and life matter.
That's the lesson.
Right. That's beautiful.
That's the lesson for both this story and for your life.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Good for you, Sybil. See how you set that up? You set it up for yourself and you hit it yourself. Sometimes you got to do that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you gotta be reminded of your own words.
Right.
Sometimes
Yeah.
they apply to you.
Yeah.
That they apply
Yeah.
to you too.
Yeah. I don't think it was an accident that you chose this story. And I don't, and from where you are mentally and spiritually, maybe, and oftentimes the stories that we do, especially in the social justice realm, ring out to us because of what we're going through.
Right. I
They
saw
do.
this story on one of the Datelines, all of the crime stories, but I saw that this weekend, and it was really, really touching. And that baby girl said, "That's all I want is my dad." That he had missed so many milestones in their lives, and the beautiful part of it is they weren't bitter that they didn't have him. They recognized the absence of him in their lives, but they just savoring the time that they could possibly have. And just the prosecutors, they were so dead set. Why do prosecutors just dig their feet in the ground and just why do they do that? When all of the evidence points a different way, why do they have to be right? Is that what it is?
For the win.
Yeah.
For the win. Yeah.
Yeah.
And to come up and to close that case and to be able to say, we got it and we're good. And
but did either one of you guys actually see the story, the news story?
I read the news story.
Because this was so inflammatory. The judge was sitting up there like this.
Really?
So you telling me?
You trying to tell me?
Yes.
He's an old black man, Sybil. He took over. So what? And so what happened?
And you think why? And you didn't think too?
And the eyewitness that took the stand also testified and said that he felt pressured by the detectives to make an identification because at first he refused. And then the investigators told him that his own life was in danger and told him that Johnson may have been involved in as many as 6 other murders, which he was never convicted for, charged for, or anything like that. It wasn't even brought up in court later on. And so he actually admitted, and I quote, "I lied on the testimony. I lied because I thought I was doing the right thing."
Yeah, and he was exonerated. But Coy, the sad part about what you need to get some signs and march or whatever it is you people do, he can't be compensated.
Right.
That's another thing. Yeah. And because they are recognizing how many cases are coming about and how many states are being sued, that's where the legislators, the same people that are taking away our rights in voting, as well as arm sales and things like that, these are the same people that are denying the recompense to people who have been unjustly put in
what
prison.
state is this, Coy?
This is in Missouri.
Missouri. Wow. Yeah. And he gets nothing.
No.
24 years of his life is taken away.
Yep.
And,
in some cases, they say, well, we're going to give you so much, which seems like maybe $100 a year or something ridiculous like that. And I'm exaggerating, but a really small amount. And then you have states like Missouri say, nope,
nothing.
It's on the books. We are not going to be
and I know life isn't fair sometimes, but that is just wow. Because now he's older. He's a good-looking man too. He's really good-looking man.
But his best years, honestly, as Don Lemon would say, he's past his prime.
He's past his prime.
Almost 30 years. Almost 30 years locked away for something that he didn't even do.
And his prime time with his children, his daughter.
Right. And so now, what's his skill? Will he be able to get out and get a job and get a house?
Right. Yeah, they've taken all that away from him. And no way of recouping it.
Wow.
I will say that I have come to know some really great friends who spent a lot of time in prison, a long time. And they have been blazingly succcevery in their own businesses. One I know is a husband, has started a couple of businesses. Very good man, been very involved in his local community, in the church. Very great person to speak to spiritually. I know another person that came out, and I mean, when I tell you he was the rough and tough stuff in Chicago, he was the rough and tough stuff in Chicago. This man came out, turned his life around, bought a studio, started a business, bought himself a home, a condo, everything from scratch. And he was in jail, in prison for a better part of his life.
Wow. And those are the success stories. And I'm not saying this man is not capable of doing that. But what I'm saying is it's just not fair.
It's not.
The state has taken away his life and then will not give him what he's due, or what the courts may think that he's due for their lies.
I feel like at this point, because it is such a problem across the entire country, that this should be raised as a federal issue, and there should be some type of federal funding for people that are wrong.
Who's to say in the George Floyd policing bill it's not in there? I don't know, but I'm just saying that this is another effort by and I'm going to get on my soapbox about registering to vote. This is why it's so important for us to register to vote, for us to register to vote and elect people who have our best interests at heart.
Well, that's a good recommendation, Coy. I like that. Federally.
Yeah. It really does make you think, like, what was it about the George Floyd Policing Bill Act that is being rejected?
It was a black man. It was about a black man.
Damn it.
It was about a black man. And they had enough during the protests. This is just one woman's opinion. They had enough during the protests, and they were not going to see this any further. Like, look, you gave them the protest. You all did what you did. And so now it's time to get back. And we don't owe you anything else. And the other George Floyds, good luck to you.
Jeez.
I'm just saying, that's just my opinion. I'm just saying and I'm not saying that it's right. It's just something that I think. Let's move also on to the weather and how it's affecting our lives. There is and if it was supposed to happen today, the Mississippi River is supposed to crest at 21 feet. And that means that people in a number of states, and especially from Iowa to Minnesota, affected by the floods, and the floods affecting their homes, their businesses, their ways of life, their ways of transportation, because now I don't care how big of a, Ford F-150 you got, or 250 or 350, it's not enough. And people are having to use their boats, their paddle boats, and sometimes a motorboat in order to traverse these waters that have taken over their towns.
What if I don't have a boat?
Then you need to make friends with somebody, because not only are people getting flooded out of their homes and they have to go somewhere else, but the roads are just, and you just might reach a high point in which the roads are not covered by water, but you need, and there's this one guy on the news, he's saying, this is my first year here, and I'm really learning from my neighbors what I need to do, and through their beneficence, that I am learning that I'm able to take advantage of some of the things that they have, and they're sharing with me.
Right.
This is, as I said, is taking place along a large strip of the Mississippi River. And the environment is affecting weather elsewhere. A tornado in Florida, where they're used to hurricanes, but tornadoes ripped apart Palm Beach Gardens in Florida over the weekend, as well as Virginia Beach. They had a tornado there yesterday.
Good gosh.
And on the West Coast, they are feeling the effects of the snow, the extreme amounts of snow that they had, and the melting of the snow. And so from one end of the country to the other. And in my home state of Illinois, and we'll talk about this a little bit, they had a dust storm, which led to a number of fatalities today on a major roadway. The winds, the rain, everything is coming, and everybody is getting a taste of this.
Wow.
This is crazy. I saw that headline come in. A
Yeah.
dust storm. I'm like,
A
we haven't
dust
seen
storm.
that since like the Great Depression. What's going on?
Right. The Dust Bowls, right? Yeah, exactly. Some of the other stories we'd like you to take a look at, and to support our friends at Black Health Matters. They always have a great story. And this is something about 7 facts about Parkinson's disease, and things that everyone should know, whether you have it or a member of your family or your friend group has this. Check it out. And how it affects Black people, especially, as well as a little known Black history fact and the HBCU corner, in which Deion Sanders comes out and shames the NFL for picking one player from an HBCU, drafting one player from an HBCU to play in the NFL this season. So that is our What You Need to Know newsletter. Please go to SybilWilkes.com to sign up for the newsletter. And all we need is your name and your email address. It won't cost you a dime. And we'd love to have you be a part of the What You Need to Know newsletter. And also, I must mention, on Mondays, we also have a wonderful column by Willie Mae McIver and this Ministry Monday, and talks about the Alpha and the Omega this week, the beginning and the end. My mother used to call me Alpha Omega because I was the first and last child that she was going to have. So let's move on to the what's really going on question. And this marks the beginning of the cookout season. What's that one dish that you can't wait to taste at the family barbecue? Who makes it? If it's you, what's your secret? And who do you wish would stop making a dish and bring it to the family barbecue? Now, Yolanda, you guys don't do your family reunions the way you used to, but your grandmother was, for my taste, was a really good cook, and could really fry some fish. Right. But that wasn't something that you enjoyed. Right. You hate all seafood. So Coy, I enjoyed the Friday night fish fry. And so that was something that I look forward to in Chicago. My family, one of the things I look forward to was my aunt's peach cobbler. And that was something that I always, just like, oh, we're going down to Milton, we're going to have peach cobbler, that kind of thing. What about you, Coy? Did you have that with your family?
Well, our get-togethers were more so get-togethers. We're going to have our first family reunion in like almost 30 years. It's coming
awesome. Oh, wow.
So I don't know who's going to bring what. They should have had me do that. But anyway.
Well, being the chef, yes.
Yeah.
But you go bring something? They're not going to stop you from bringing something. What you go take?
I don't know, because you know what? They have frustrated me with this planning process. I volunteered to be on the planning board, and I've just been left out of the loop and emails and everything.
That's a whole
other thing. I don't know what these people are doing. We'll see. I'll be lucky if I get some food and I pay for it.
Or get an invite at this point.
I had to pay for my invite, so I got one.
So Sybil, the side dish to the food is the drama. So
okay.
The drama. But yeah, my grandmother was an excellent cook. Oh my God, her cornbread, her fried chicken, her greens. She always had a cake or some type of dessert on the table. Her fish, her casseroles, everything. She would just make these huge meals. My grandmother passed in 1999, so a lot of us,
your dad's
my dad's mom. So we have since, a lot of us have tried to copycat her recipes. I feel like I've gotten close. My dad was definitely close. My aunts or what have you. I don't know who's going to be cooking, but I would love to bring or contribute a peach cobbler that I know how to make on the grill.
Oh, nice. Nice. Okay.
So are your peaches out of the can, or are they fresh peaches that you cut up? And
usually, to make it quick, I get them out of the can. But I can't.
Sometimes every little step ahead helps,
It does. The peaches take I would give that a few days. Like if I have a few days preparation or up to a week, yeah, I can use fresh peaches.
Now, Yolanda's husband is a good cook, and I'm not a banana pudding person, but he does make a good banana pudding.
So he made a banana pudding yesterday, and I keep telling him, I think Ward wants a fat girl. I think that's really his goal in life. So he made the banana pudding for somebody else, but I say, well, just put me on some on the side.
Just a
He
little.
got me a big bowl, that big black bowl,
Mhm.
and filled it to the rim. So
That's
I sat
love.
there, and before
Empty
I
the
know
bowl.
it, yeah, and it's like, you can't do that.
Because you're black or white. There's no gray. There's no, I'll eat this much and save it for later. It's like,
And
this
he's
is so good.
sweet. He's like, well, it's just a bowl. I say, love, come on now. You can't sit down and eat a whole big bowl of banana pudding.
Well, some of us can.
But Sybil, you know what mine is for the family reunion? Because I'm not really a foodie. I don't really care about food. But it was, I was always so happy when we got past all of the food and it was time for the homemade ice cream.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it's time to sit down at the card table.
I mean, they could, I know Bluebell Vanilla tries to compete, but it is nothing like homemade ice cream.
And they may say it's homemade on the carton, but there's nothing like it. My grandmother and my aunt used to make the best strawberry ice cream in the summertime. And and when I was a kid, when they were making it, they would do the vanilla ice cream, but they would add fresh strawberries to it.
Ooh.
And I was allergic to strawberries at the time, but I was willing.
I bet that's good.
I was willing to do the scratching and everything in order to get some of that strawberry ice cream. Yeah, absolutely.
Minor side effect.
Yeah. My mother didn't feel that way, Coy, because then we had to go to the dermatologist and get medication and stuff like that. But I will tell you also, Yolanda makes these green beans, like French green beans, and they're in a sauce.
Coy, nobody likes them but me and Sybil. That's it. At Christmas, my sister will cook 10 dishes.
10 different.
So I won't bring my pot of green beans. He's like, oh, no, we're fine.
Tasty.
They're delicious.
They're so tasty. I swear. It's
the
really
trick
good.
is vinegar.
Mm-hmm.
I put vinegar in it. And it's delicious.
It is very good. It's very good. Do we have any suggestions there? Thank you. Aubrey Williams on YouTube says that the one thing I look forward to is the smoked down home sausage with sweet potato salad. I've never had sweet potato. I wish my uncle will stop making key lime.
It's the emojis.
I wish my uncle would stop making key lime pie.
Oh my God.
That, Aubrey, is hilarious. That is hilarious. I love that. I absolutely love that. Barbara Ferguson on YouTube. My nephew grills so good you don't need sauce. I bring my appetite and contribute money. That would be me too. Yeah, if it's that good. Absolutely. Absolutely. I was thinking about that when I was home in Chicago over the weekend, and my next door neighbor to where my parents' house is used to be the griller, and now she's a little bit older and doesn't do it. But man, I was like, ooh, those fried green tomatoes. She would grow the tomatoes, and they would get to a certain stage, and then fry them up. Oh, shut up.
Oh boy, that sounds good.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah, absolutely was good. Coy, do you know from fried green tomatoes?
I don't like tomatoes.
Oh, okay.
And I tried fried.
And you don't really eat fried food though either, right?
I make them a little different now after I've discovered, a lot of my food allergies and what have you. But please, man.
So are you allergic to tomatoes, or you just don't like them?
Yeah, like tomatoes, they don't sit well in my stomach. And I'm allergic to wheat flour, so I have to use alternative flours. But yeah, man.
One day we'll get into it about Coy's food allergies and her list of cans.
That's a segment in itself.
Yeah, it really. It's a show. It's a whole show. Book Girl on YouTube says my great grandmother used to make peach and apple fried pie. She's the only one who knew how to make them.
Oh my God.
Oh, I hope that she shared that with somebody. That you would hate to have that be go with your grandmother and not have the recipe shared.
Just gonna have to get in the kitchen and try.
Yeah, I need instruction though, Coy. I don't have the intuitive sense with cooking to just let's try a little of this and let's try a little of that. I need you to say, and here's what you need: A, B, C, D, and a quarter, and a all of that. I need all the instructions I can get, but that's just me. Randall Andrews on Facebook. My great aunt makes a good homemade butter pecan ice cream.
Now, I wonder, how do you make butter pecan? I got the strawberry, but okay.
Well, you take the pecans like you have, as the candy, and in that case, you add it to the ice cream.
Okay. All right, Sybil. Look at Sybil, the cook, the chef. Knowing something.
Yeah. This is just somebody who just likes to add different things to her ice cream to give it. Blueberry ice cream. Let me get a pint of blueberries.
Take a walk outside and let's see your kitchen. Let's see your oven.
I have to go take the books out. That's not funny. Teresa Bishop on YouTube says, I wish my family would stop asking me to cook lasagna, fried chicken, and ribs for every gift. Well, you gotta be good.
Wow.
If they're asking for it, that's how good you have to be. Right. And that's a wide range of dishes. Lasagna right. And rib. Come on now. Pat on the back, Teresa, and let's how good is your stuff? Maybe we should get some family members. Tracy Calloway on Facebook, fried peach pie from the Varsity here in Atlanta. Oh, you know what?
Peach pie.
I've been to the Varsity.
Is that a peach cobbler? What's a fried peach? What's a fried pie?
I'm not sure. I just know that I just know about the baked pies. I don't know about the fried. Coy, do you know fried pies?
Yes, I haven't had anybody's personal recipe. I've only seen stuff like that, like in the store and like.
So are
McDonald's.
there like those little fries like you get at McDonald's or like Church's Chicken or something? Is that those little fried pies?
Not
like fries, but they are fried like.
Or they're either shaped like the half moon.
Right. Yeah.
With the little crunks on the edges.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'd be willing to be your taste tester.
So I'm like, I want to get in the kitchen and try. That sounds great.
Janet Ferguson on Facebook. I love my good old burnt ribeye steak. And that's the only way Yolanda likes her.
That's the only way I would like it. Oh, good, Janet. Burnt. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
It's just me and you.
and people don't understand this, Coy, when we go to restaurants and she's like, I want it seriously cooked. And when you think that it's cooked, burn it. And then they're like, how do I go tell the chef to burn the food? And the chef will sometimes come out and ask, you didn't really mean yes, she did. Yes. Burn it.
Yes.
I was kind of like that when I ate steaks. Like I want mine well,
like no life whatsoever.
No.
Okay, Sybil, here's one for you.
Okay. Sheila Josie, my favorite dish is jerk oxtails. I came to love oxtails in just the last few years.
Wait. So when they decided,
and jerk oxtails could be a date or two. I'm just saying, but yes,
Sybil, when they say we're going to give you a dish, whatever is at the beginning, but for tail to be a part of it, you gonna say, okay, I'll try it?
Well, because I will try just about anything. And when I saw that
I'm gonna try the tail of anything. If I'm telling too much of my business.
I think you are, and I think we know that's not true.
Oh man.
Am I wrong? I don't think I am. I think your laughter indicates that I hit upon something there. I'm just saying. Just saying. Okay, we need you to turn your mic back on.
You win.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Tip your waiters and waitresses, and don't have the veal.
You always got something smart to say.
Don't have the veal. Thanks for participating. I think we'll revisit this during the summer too, as we go through our summer season and food things. Like one of the things that I miss and that I wanted to do this week and I didn't get a chance to do is we have a rainbow ice cream store. And so it is where they take a slab of different flavors of ice cream and put them on a cone or in a container. But they're called rainbow cones, and they're all the different flavors: the chocolate, the vanilla, strawberry, pistachio, all of that, and it's in one cone. And if you go to Chicago, ask for a rainbow cone. That and Garrett's popcorn. I'm just saying, you can be hungry. Okay, all right. So let's move on to trending topics. This has been a day for a lot of news. In Texas, they are still looking for a man who was so angry at being asked not to shoot off his automatic rifle in the middle of the night as their baby was trying to go to sleep by his neighbors. He went into their home and he killed 5 people with an automatic rifle. This happened in South Texas.
Oh, Sybil.
This is really awful. And the man has vanished. They cannot find him. The police, the Texas Rangers, everybody is in on this case. It's in Cleveland, Texas, which is just outside of Houston.
Right.
And it is so awful. And
Sybil?
they're Hispanic, Guatemalan.
Okay.
He's described as a Mexican national.
Of course. Oh my God.
But this is where it comes down to with how crazy this state is. Greg Abbott is the governor of the state of Texas, and he is one who has been pushing for more gun rights for people, not taking away, not to deny the use of automatic rifles. And so he went on social media and other areas of the media to talk about the horror of this attack, in which people from the ages of 8 to 31, 5 people killed. And he was just that angry. He barged into their house, he shot people, and he knew what he was doing. But they say by the placement of the bullets that amongst his victims. But the governor is being slammed for calling Texas mass shooting victims illegal immigrants. Why this mattered?
That's what he said?
Yes. Why this matters? Does this take away from the horror?
What did he say? What did he say?
He went on Twitter and he tweeted a link to a statement in which he called the victims illegal immigrants. And now he's getting slammed for this because not about and he has done this in all of the mass shootings in Texas. He has gone and not addressed the issue of automatic rifles.
Oh, well, yeah, he can't address
rifles.
that. Yeah, he can't do that.
But he can call people out for being and addressing them and almost kind of, for some people, he may be, this is assumption, he may be trying to lessen the blow, the horror of this act by saying, well, they were just illegal immigrants. The people have been identified as those from Honduras. 25-year-old Sonia Argentina Guzman, Diana Velasquez Alvarado, 21, Julissa Molina Rivera, 31, Jose Jonathan Casares, 18, and Daniel Enrique Lasso is 9.
Sybil, good for you for saying their names.
We have to, and we cannot just allow politics to dismiss the importance of these lives, of these people who were summarily killed because they were just asking him not to shoot his rifle in the middle of the night.
I'm not challenging, I'm really inquiring.
Right, sure.
How do we know that that's what happened? If we don't, if
because
they're all dead,
the survivor.
Oh, so somebody did survive.
Yeah.
Good God.
And said that, the one of the fathers in the group went out and said, look, we're trying to get our baby to sleep. Could you not, shoot your gun off in the middle of the night, Friday night? And he went in his house, got his, apparently, another gun and went in and killed these people. And some people's lives were saved because some of the adults covered their children's bodies. So you do have survivors to tell this story. As I mentioned, excuse me, as I mentioned earlier, blinding dust storm in Illinois has led to multiple fatalities, dozens hospitalized after highway pileups. The dust storm caused at least 40 to 60 cars to crash along a major highway, I-55, in central Illinois. And the crashes along 55 led to the interstate closing in Sangamon and Montgomery counties, according to the Department of Transportation. The city of Springfield, which is the state capital, was in that area, in the county of Sangamon County. The cause of the crash is due to excessive winds blowing dirt from farm fields across the highway, leading to zero visibility. Just think about if you were driving in a snowstorm and they say zero visibility, and you have that. But this was dust. This was the dirt and dust that was kicked up, and how strong that wind was. Several limited visibilities are expected. Travel is dangerous and possibly life-threatening, according to earlier warnings. Winds across the region have been gusting between 35 and 45 miles an hour. They went on to say that people with respiratory problems should plan to stay inside until the storm passes. And it noted to be ready for a sudden drop in visibility to near zero as you are traveling along this roadway. And have you all ever been in a dust storm? How it just comes out of nowhere. You can usually see the snow, and you know you can, but there's nothing to prepare you for this.
Kind of seemed like somewhat of what one would kind of look like in California, like being close to the desert and everything, but never like fully engulfed in one. Thank God.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So that is another one of the stories that I did want to talk about. And
hey, Sybil, we have somebody that just added something.
Yeah. It's snowing in West Virginia, says Charlotte Bowen Feldman.
Wow.
A tornado in Virginia Beach and snowing in West Virginia.
That's crazy.
On the 1st of May.
Wow.
It's May.
The
1st.
Yeah. Yeah. Happy spring, everybody.
Right.
Wow.
Spring into what?
Yeah, into the unknown. The unknown. Clashes erupted in Paris today, May 1st, the traditional day of union-led marches in the wake of hugely unpopular changes to France's pension system. I don't know if you all saw the White House Correspondents' Dinner Saturday night with the great Roy Wood, and talking about how impassioned the people are because they're angry in France because the required age in which people could the minimum wage in which people could retire was 62.
Right.
And they get a pension, right? But now, because times are hard and money is getting tighter, they're raising the French government has raised that age to 64, and the people are angry. I mean, they are taking to the streets by the thousands. We can't even get people to come out much anymore to vote, let alone do something in which they are so passionate about. But this, it has just brought people out. And I know as a social justice activist, Coy, you don't understand how people cannot get out and protest about these things, but they're doing it. And France's Constitutional Council, which plays a role similar to our U.S. Supreme Court, approved in April the most controversial part of the reform, and that was raising the retirement age from 62 to 64. Why is this such a big deal for the French? It was never about the age of retirement, they say, but a balance between work and life. They have a work-life balance that we don't have. Some people live to work and other people work to live.
Right.
And the French and a lot of European countries have that balance, like they get several weeks off for vacation. We get maybe 2 weeks a year. They may get 2 to 4 weeks per vacation, which allows them to travel and to spend time with family. And this indicates the big difference between the United States and other countries. and they are working to, and I don't know that it's going to change. This went into effect, and it went into law and going into effect later this year.
So, Sybil, was this story all a ruse and having me on today to just tell me that you really need some time off and I need to really consider your work-life balance? You want some time off?
Well, now that you... Because Yolanda is one of the hardest workers. I mean, you know that you work hard, but she is really one of the hardest workers I've ever seen. She doesn't need no time off. She used to say, I don't need to sleep. I just work and work and work and work. I have reached that stage in my life where I would like to have a little more time, and I'd like to win the lotto so that I don't have to do this. And I can write you that $100,000 check so that you could get on with your life. But it just speaks to me, Yolanda. This just really speaks to me, and the fact that our purposes and the richness of our lives is not about living, but about working.
Well, that's what I really, really admire about Tom Joyner. Like, people cannot believe that with all Tom brought to us and all that he had and all that he was, that he actually retired. And people just have a hard time. And I love every time I talk to him.
Live your life,
Tom is like, yeah. But people are like, well, do this and do that. He's like, I'm retired.
I'm good.
It's beautiful. He is really retiring. He makes retirement look real good.
It's very attractive. It's very attractive. I texted him a few weeks ago when they had the major floods in Fort Lauderdale. And so he said, what are you talking about? And I said, Tom, they closed the airport. People cannot get from the airport or to the airport because of the floods. The streets are flooded. And he's like, I'm hanging out here with my boy, Lionel Richie in Los Angeles. And it's like, and we're going to go to Vegas and we're going to see Charlie. It's just
Tom Joyner.
That's the way to live your life.
That's awesome.
The way. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There's another spy balloon up in the sky. Look.
Oh, here we go.
The U.S. Defense Department is tracking another balloon traveling between Hawaii and Mexico. The DoD and the Federal Aviation Administration, or FAA, detected and tracked an unmanned balloon off the coast of Hawaii last week on the 28th, which was floating about 36,000 feet in the air. The ownership of the balloon is unknown, and according to a spokesman, there's no indication whether it's being maneuvered or controlled by a foreign or adversarial actor, China. We know what happened before, where they waited for it to drift off to the East Coast waters, and then they shot it down. And once would suspect that that's what they're doing as well, but this time a little closer to China, and detected between Hawaii, and they say it's on its way to Mexico. So these things are up there, and but we're guilty of it too. Yeah, right. I'm not saying that this is just a Chinese thing or a Russian thing. United States is known for their spy balloons as well, and for looking for information. So check this out. Nick Cannon is speaking out about the cancellation of the Red Table Talk show. This is the TV show that was on Facebook Watch, in which Jada Pinkett Smith, her daughter Willow, and her mom Adrian were the hosts, right? And he says he calls it toxic table talk.
Ooh. And
when he was they on his radio show, when they said that it was canceled, he said good.
Ooh.
He said that after the news came out that Facebook Watch was putting an end to its original programming, he said if there was no Red Table Talk, then there wouldn't have been a time. Then he wouldn't. Speaking of he, referring to Will, he wouldn't have slapped the ish out of Chris Rock. He said too much honesty on that show led to the situation in which it was revealed about Jada and August Alsina, and then Will bearing everything on the Table Talk show. And so he said, he implied that her talking about the personal issues between her and her husband opened up their life to scrutiny, that was royalty, Will and Jada. Then they brought it to the table. I don't want to know all this ish about y'all. I just want to mind my Black owned business. I don't want to be up in everybody else's kitchen. Keep that ish to yourselves.
I agree.
I think he has a good point, but because here's the thing, Coy. I don't think we need to know everything about your life. I think that there's some things. No, well, I mean, you can disagree with me and give me your opinion on that. Just stating from my point of view, I think that there's too much talking about ourselves and all of the things that we're going through and too much. There's oversharing.
But Coy, I'm curious why you think that they should share all their business. Why is it our business?
It's not that I think they should share all of their business. I feel like when you do have your own platform, it is a glimpse into your life. And there's a way to share that makes sense, that doesn't throw all of you out there to the wolves. Like, I know, like, a lot of their guests that they had, a lot of times they would kind of insert themselves into the story and they would bring the story back to themselves, even though they had guests, which I feel like a lot of hosts some people have trouble balancing out that difficulty of being a host, but also relating to the subject at hand without going overboard. So yeah, like, tell us about what's going on in your life, because a lot of people are interested in knowing what's going on in your life. But also don't. But
just because you're interested, that don't mean I gotta tell you.
Right. Don't do it at the expense of somebody else's respect, though. And I feel like that's where they kind of they threw Will out to the wolves. And not to say good to cancel the show, because I mean they did have some other great guests on there and great moments. Maybe YouTube will pick them up, or they'll come up with their own platform and a better format, so they're not disrespecting themselves and making themselves look really bad. I just think that maybe this is a great learning moment for them to say, hey, look, we kind of messed up by putting our family business out there. Let's not do this again. Because I don't want to shun.
But this is a man who has 12 children by 10 different women.
Exactly. So he should be one.
So I think, to his point, if he chooses to have 10 children by 12 women, or whatever, 12 women by 12 children by 10, whatever, it's his business.
But it's not.
But that's what but why isn't it his business?
Because he shared. He goes on social media. Yes, he responds.
Does. He responds.
Oh, he doesn't just respond. He announces.
He announces the burst, all that.
Hold on. He announces what he wants to announce. And that's his choice. That's his choice. And so
I think it's hypocritical.
Okay.
No, but go ahead. I'm sorry. I was just throwing that in. Go ahead. Finish your statement.
I just think that we have a right to share what we want to share, and we have a right to keep what we want to keep. And I don't need you, whoever you are, to dictate to me what I should and should not share. If I want to share that I cut my toes tonight, I should be able to share that. But you shouldn't be able to come and ask me, what am I doing with my toenail clippings?
Well, I know, and it's not a pretty picture.
but I get to decide. I get to decide. And I just hate the idea that we think that we have a right to know what somebody else is doing in their lives.
Right. You know what? That is something. That is something, because that's something even I've dealt with on my own platform. It got to the point where people are always asking, where am I? How come I'm not posting this? How come I'm not posting that? Hey, can we show up? I want to go with you. I want to be there. They want to know every detail. So it's gotten to the point where there's certain things I don't share, even though I don't share a lot on social media.
Right.
I've scaled it down because people will really want to be like, if they had a front row seat to your window to look in and see what you're doing 24/7, they would. Well, and there are platforms for that.
My life is so great. I got so much great stuff going on in my life. I don't care what you got going on in your life.
And get yourself some business. That's the way I all these years in radio and people sharing and wanting you to open up your life, and that's just not my comfort level. I get that. But I
But
think
Coy,
that
I'm hypocritical because I'm one of those people. The Sybil, you got to go for a walk and take a picture walking down the street and post it.
But see, this is where when Twitter came on board, I used to make fun of it because people were posting their every update.
Right.
Hey, I'm eating food.
Right.
I'm in this restaurant. So they say, video killed the radio star. Social media, YouTube, and live vlogs of people's lives killed news and good content.
Yep.
Yeah, and good content became just your everyday, regular living, and making it into be something that is more than what other people are living, and exaggerating it to the point that it really reflects on other people's lives and how they feel about themselves.
Like, turn on YouTube, you can catch millions of vlogs of people's ratchet lives and poor lives and rich lives and in between lives, every life you could think of as a vlog right now. You can. And it has everybody thinking that they should do the same thing.
Right. I did not indicate that was our entertainment section. I'm sorry. That was the conversation about Nick Cannon. I should have made that distinction. Let's move to our daily inspiration, Yogi's Jewel. This week, we're talking about kindness. And understand that we all have a lot going on in our lives. Be conscious about being kind to others. That's really
that's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, they're all your favorites.
That's true.
Do we have the HBCU video ready to go?
Oh, good job, Sybil. That's impressive. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Get ready for an epic showdown on September 16th as Morehouse and Albany State take the field for the Toyota HBCU NY Classic at MetLife Stadium.
Football season is back, and this is the game you can't miss.
Join us for the world's largest HBCU homecoming to experience the thrill of HBCU culture like never before.
Enjoy the ultimate celebration with a pregame tailgate, battle of the bands, and an iconic halftime show.
Don't wait. Get your tickets now at hbcunyclassic.com.
Oh man, I might have to go to that one.
Right?
Yeah, that looks like fun.
Right? Yeah, that's a lot of fun, and that's a recap of Coy's life. Thanks so much, Coy. Thank you, Yolanda, for joining us, and everybody. Thank you for
Sybil. This is always so much fun. Thank you.
It is a lot of fun. It is. You're a fun gal.
Yes.
We appreciate it, and everybody, we appreciate your joining us and contributing today. Have a great day. We'll see you again soon. Aloha.